guys, it's Air Africa again. I'm your host, Zothile Mabusela. Welcome to Air Africa. As you know, we are a peer-to-peer mentorship group, and today we have our peer mentor, Zothile Mabusela. Welcome to Air Africa.
Thank you so much. It's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for you to be willing to share your story today.
Always.
You know, your winning tactics to our mentees. The youth of Eswatini and the youth of Africa, by the way. Here we have a woman today who is our mentor, who will share her story. So really, we're looking forward actually to hearing a lot from you. But Sister Kala, before you even introduce yourself, we just want to know what is the significance of woman to you?
It could be a lot of things, but one of the things that I'm very passionate about, it's a celebration of resilience of women. From micro level, this is the household. They are the people who keep our homes running, our communities running, and the countries running as well. So for me, it's a celebration of women's strength and their ability to overcome many challenges, but also it shines a light on the many challenges that we do not speak about often enough. Issues of education, healthcare, childcare, mortality, all those issues that I feel perhaps we need to speak more and more about and educate ourselves on.
Oh my God, we need another day for this. You're extremely
Definitely.
passionate about this. Thank you so much actually for highlighting those issues. So now let's get to it. Zothile Mabusela, who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Eliswati. I happen to be a twin. I come from a very small family. I was raised by a single parent. My mother has been a very big influence in my life.
Okay.
So I did not come from an affluent family, very middle class. We were not poor, but by no means did we always have enough. So one of the things that were very consistent and prevalent in my life was seeing our mother struggle to raise us, seeing her move from paycheck to paycheck, from debt to debt actually.
Yeah.
So that is a very, very big story that I do think, even without realizing it, it affected who I am now and the decisions I took in terms of my career as well. Yeah.
Tell us, growing up, did you have mentors?
No, no, actually, not officially. I think if I did have anyone I looked up to, it was nothing official. It was people we just looked up to very far. But I think it's one of the things that I missed, especially coming from a single parent. In particular, I missed a father figure. I missed seeing a solid, reliable male in my family. So I think perhaps even now, in even my associations and my alliances, I sort of seek out or want to raise stable, reliable, consistent, sound young men.
Wow, that's so interesting because as you know, Tinelaga Ira Africa, we are all about mentorship, connecting you to a mentor you would not necessarily have had an opportunity to meet. Listen, you don't have a father in your life, you don't have a mental health specialist in your life. Nangzot, meet together. And then from there, when you are able to make decisions about your career, about your future, business-wise, academically, or even vocationally. So that is what we are about. Assess challenges about the gap that she had, where now you might not have that gap if in Air Africa says to connect you with these mentors. So Zoti, we know that you have started a mental health organ. In fact, but it's challenge your educational journey and sesibuka nalo munye lo siyathi mina ngipassionate nge-psychology, effect psychology, yathi mina ngipassionate nge-human resources, yathi mina ngipassionate ngiqala kuphi yabona. That is our dream.
All right. As I've mentioned, I've come from a very basic family. I went to your average public school. Well, then it was very affluent, but now it's your average public school. I did my high school at St. Michael's High, very average. Then by grace, I went to Tshwane University of Technology, thanks to the government of Eswatini. And when I got to my honors level, I was meant to educate myself, but then I had challenges in terms of finances, and that meant my mother had to take over that. So it was a huge burden on her. She paid for my honors, and I was meant to come back home actually, and I refused. I cannot begin to tell you what a challenge it put my family into. It just put a spanner in the works. I was meant to come back to Sweden and work. I didn't want to work because I had not reached what I wanted to do at that time. And even for my master's, so my honors is in business administration. So my major then was strategy development. Then I decided I wanted my master's badly. And for my master's, I chose to do entrepreneurship and new venture creation at Wits Business School. So my academic background is very diverse. Undergrad is HR, TUT, BCom, honors is in strategy, and then entrepreneurship. I think I've never wanted to be boxed in. I've always wanted to have options. And for as long as I could remember, being born in Eswatini, I always felt almost caged in. So I told myself, when I go to university, if I can get the opportunity, I'm going to make sure I can do a lot of everything, so I can be multifaceted, and I can almost decide, almost have a menu of what I can be tomorrow. And thankfully, by grace, it worked out.
It did. It did. Thank you. That was kind of mouthful, but there's so many achievements and milestones that you have gone through without formal mentorship, but wakhona achieve all that you wanted to achieve, and we can learn a lot from you. It's just a lot that she can mentor us. And you know, guys, you can always reach out to us, reach out to our mentor, specific topics of this is what is interesting me. So figure njani let's meet up and let's have a company or an organization. Please take us through that.
Okay, so after the masters, I had to come back home because now you must earn a salary, you must get work. So I came home, and I think the one thing that struck me, I was working for a consultancy company at that time. It was a great opportunity, I'm not gonna lie. However, I always found myself not being fulfilled. I wasn't self-actualized. I wasn't at my happiest. I got things done. I went to work. I got paid. I paid bills. But I realized I'm not doing cartwheels when I wake up in the morning. So thankfully, there were brilliant women. So I gravitate naturally to strong women because I was raised by a strong woman. I'm one. So I always seek out other strong young women. So I met up the three of my colleagues in the same company. And remember, I had a background in entrepreneurship. So already my mind was engineered to think business, innovation, autonomy. So I thought to myself, we are here, we've got different skill sets. Why can't we start a company? Because we were generally, all of us were disillusioned with what we were doing. And we thought, why can't we? And we realized we love the consulting world, but there is no company that has our face.
Exactly.
So the consulting world is generally very male dominated and older men. So we couldn't find a company that perhaps we could relate to, that perhaps could speak to who we were. This is young upcoming women who wanted to have a voice in the corporate world. So we began this organization and we had to contact two of our other very good friends outside. So I happened to be the nexus, if I could say, because all the women, I am the common denominator. And without being filled with pride, but it's a great opportunity to know that we could do something like this. So our company is called Kushamiri Human Capital and Wellness. So we consult in the area of human capital development and psychology, because we felt there's so many companies who are in human capital development. But in Swaziland, psychology is very, very nascent, if I could call it. It's very elitist. It's not accessible. We realized, can we not merge the ideas of human capital and strategy, development and training, and psychology? Because to recruit someone, we must understand the psychology behind it. In order to develop you strategically, to give you a great career path, we must understand, where are you psychologically? What are your strengths? So that's what we do in a nutshell. It's a lot of things. So for ladies, we've got an industrial psychologist, counseling psychologist, a clinical psychologist, and then myself in human capital development. So we just try to marry the idea of psychology, especially making it accessible.
And all of them Swazis.
All of us are bona fide Swazis. And all of us, we all we all come from Eswatini, but we all studied in South Africa, which is also something we share.
Yeah.
So I think the exposure is extremely important.
It's extremely important, and exposure is what we are about. So one of the key things is partnership. For me, that is striking me, because guys, it's a problem for us. Partnerships are very hard not in Swaziland, but mostly in African societies, and even maybe in other societies. What I mean is with a common vision and send it in for lebonagalago. So I just want a brief word of advice. Sometimes each dream can
True.
Dynamic briefly,
first be clinical about what you want, because in our company, when we were only 4 now, we had a bigger number, so people fell along the wayside. So be clinical about who you want. Insist on excellence, and if you don't get it, don't be party to that. And if it's not going to be what you want to see strategically, don't waste your time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So lo that we just wanted to ask you. So funzile, you went to master's level and in multidisciplinary areas, and you keep on saying you had to go to South Africa, to be equipped. So see, what do you think in terms of education system in the country, and maybe individually, but to cover up the things that can, be sort of like gaps, so that
okay, first of all, not everybody will go to South Africa or any other foreign country, and that does not by any stretch of the imagination mean you are self-standard or mediocre. If you happen to be in Swaziland, number one, take time to read. Expose yourself, read, especially areas outside of your natural disposition. If you're in healthcare, read on architecture, because you'd be amazed the connections you could make. Secondly, take it seriously. Even if you began, for instance, at any institution locally, but you want to ascend elsewhere, excel at it. Be the best at it, because that definitely opens up the opportunities for you to go elsewhere. And lastly, even if you are a Swazi child who is local in the country, I would definitely encourage you, make time to network, make time to go into spaces where you find other young people who are very off the beaten track, if I'd call it that, because it allows you to think and to dream at the very instance, and then you'd be amazed just what else you could be able to likely to do in the future. And because, for instance, sooner or later we must be able to develop our own curriculums. Alternative curriculums for parents who say, my child will not go to maybe a local school or a government school. Here's an alternative curriculum that is approved and registered and above board that other children can perhaps pursue.
Thank you so much for bringing into that insight into this conversation. Okay, we are dealing with young upcoming youth. Labafuna bufana nawe. Actually, you have shared a lot of advices, but also kukhona info lebasenhlitweni yakho. Kuthi uyati mine, I wish someone had told me this. So what is that, Zothi? What can you share today to us?
Okay, I'll be biased. I'll definitely go from someone who studied outside the country. The very first thing, stop being apologetic to Swazi. That is the one thing I've come to find about all of us. We are very apologetic, we are Swazi. I'm a Christian, so I believe it was divinely ordained that I would be Swazi. So when we come in the midst of South Africans or guys from Lesotho, Kusana, whatever, we somehow shrink into the background and become modest. Stop that. There's no need for that. Shine. And exceed your own expectations, because actually no one, most times, especially in Africa, we don't expect each other to shine. So take time to shine, which means know your craft. Invest in your craft. I think that's the very first thing I wish someone had told me to say. Stop shrinking to the background. Answer questions in lectures. And if you don't know, do not be afraid to ask. Definitely that thing. The more you ask questions, the more innovative you're likely to be. Every innovation began from asking a question. How can we be better? How can we be stronger or more resilient? So guys, ask questions. It's okay.
Thank you very much. That's very, very powerful. And I hope that you guys are taking note of that. Don't shrink into the background. Yeah, thank you so much. Then, I think it would not, we have an entrepreneurial background. We are taking good umhlaba so shinjile. Cala besakhabonesi, but the world has changed for us, and sicela ukuthi something about entrepreneurship. Kunebamfulana who will not be able to biology management. We are born. They have to be the developers of the crafts, but about developing, and they need to, sell them even to an international level. But cabanga kanjani lo ngoba githi labanye akufiki nje nokuthi mina sengimi you can pay sewami sifika kanjani ke lapho.
Okay, very briefly, self-awareness is very important. I don't come from a family that has any form of entrepreneurial heritage. And even my country, we are one of the lowest countries in the world, not even in Africa, the lowest indexes for entrepreneurship.
Right.
So I've never seen anyone in my family do it, but I realized I want to be the first one to do it.
Yeah.
Because I realized from self-awareness perspective, I'm very big on autonomy, which means self-directing myself. I want to choose my day and how it's going to pan out. I was very poor at doing the 8-hour thing. And I realized if I want to get out of this rut and earn what I think I'm worth, for me, so first of all, self-awareness is a very big thing. Secondly, what I want to just clarify, not everybody can go into business.
Yeah.
It's not meant for everybody.
Yeah.
So even though it's the biggest buzzword currently in the whole world, not everyone is an entrepreneur. So for those of you who do have that spark, I would definitely encourage you. Start dreaming. What kind of life do you want to lead? What is the impact you want to have? Because sometimes a job can't give you impact on this grand scale you would like it. Because then it becomes an issue of measuring the impact you can have in society. So for me, influence has always been a big thing because my mother is very strong. So I realized there are things I want to achieve, but if I'm employed, I can't reach that, especially if I want to reach African women in particular. So that for me, among many things I could talk about entrepreneurship, that's my biggest advice I would give.
There you have it. So guys, thank you so much actually to our mentor for actually highlighting those issues. And letting the fact when you imagine yourself, you don't imagine yourself now, you imagine yourself in the future. So about generational thinking, it's you today, what about your kids, your grandchildren? That is how actually we should picture entrepreneurship. And from what she was saying, I was able to pick that. So Zothile, you have said a lot of very powerful things to us as the Era Africa team too, and we just hope also to our mentors. Thank you so much for taking time to come here today.
It is an absolute honor. The next time you call, I'll always be available. Thank you so much. It's a grand opportunity.
Yes, thank you. We hope you are inspired. We hope that we have ignited something in you to go and chase after your dreams. Otherwise, from us here, the Era Africa team, we just want to say it's your time. Anytime is your time. Bye.